With high temperatures forecast once again across southern Australia, there's renewed concern about the risk to people's health.
The biggest concern, of course, is how it's going to affect vulnerable people, including the elderly, who could suffer the most. Nick McDonald is an aged care expert and registered nurse, and he joins us in the studio. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
How much of a problem is this, or is it growing because it's getting hotter and hotter, or we feel it is at least?
Yeah, I think so. We know that the population's ageing, and it was interesting sort of preparing to today to read that heat waves and heat-related illness cause more Australian deaths than any other natural disaster. So clearly it is an issue that we need to have a think about, especially with regards to the elderly and those sort of other vulnerable segments of the population.
These hot days don't catch anyone by surprise, particularly the elderly who would know that their health needs to be looked after at these times. So what are the problems?
Yeah, I guess some of the issues are that a lot of people might be aware of the temperatures coming up, but might not have the insight into the impact that might have on their actual health and well-being. So, you know, there's a whole lot of particular health-related outcomes that can be impacted by severe weather.
I was surprised to learn that for older people, the smallest variation in degrees is actually much more severe on their health than for younger people. Why is that so when you get a little bit older?
Yeah, absolutely. We know that for older people and those with chronic medical conditions and certain medications, people that take certain medications, they have a decreased ability to maintain their core body temperature. So the simple answer is that older people can't maintain their own body temperature as well as those that are younger or fit and healthy.
And so what tips do you like to give at this time of year for people who are preparing for days, whether it's tomorrow or next week?
Yeah, well, I suppose for older people themselves, it's about making sure that they've got some airflow, keep your blinds down, have your air conditioning going, use a fan if you can get it. For people that don't have those sort of facilities at home, get to a family or friends or the cinema, library, places that have air conditioning. Keeping cool with cold baths or cold towels, putting your feet in a bucket of water, those sort of things make a difference. Keeping hydrated, not waiting until it's too late or you're thirsty to start drinking to keep that up to date.
Do you have to drink more?
Yeah, absolutely. So we lose more water in warmer weather, and so obviously we've got to take more on board, and older people should be having at least 2 litres up to 3 litres a day.
Up to 3 litres, so that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
At a time when people probably have got a decreased appetite sometimes too.
Absolutely. And one of the other tips, I suppose it's more for other people and for the children or grandchildren of the elderly, is to check in on them. You know, we know in the work we do at Prestige in Home Care, there's a lot of people living alone that are vulnerable. They need someone to give them a call or to physically drop in and just make sure that, you know, that they're okay, because older people don't often put their hands up for that sort of help.
No, they don't. And I think people who are in care is one issue. Older people who are living on their own often rely on pets, and I've noticed even on that Saturday, this past weekend, when we had very high temperatures around the southeast of the country, people out walking their dogs.
Yeah, I know. It's one of the other tips actually that you think would be common sense, to not do any outdoor or strenuous activities. You know, don't do your gardening today. Don't walk your dog or go for your normal walk into the shops if that's how you maintain your sort of physical exercise. You've got to try and just be sensible and use that common sense approach, you know, and put those things on hold.
Yes, indeed. The dog can wait for another day.
Exactly.
Well, sometimes the dog's not interested.
Yeah, the dog doesn't want to go either.
Yeah.
They're just panting in the corner. Well, thanks for that, and
no problem.
Let's hope we have as an uneventful couple of days as possible. Thank you.
Absolutely.